And welcome back to Times Square today. I'm your host, Greg Rowlett, and I am really excited for our next guest because he spent the past 20 years in the trenches helping businesses to get out of some messy situations, and he's here now to pay it back as an educator for these businesses. I'm here with Scott Burnett. Scott, welcome to Times Square today.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it.
Yeah, beautiful day in New York City. Beautiful day
Always.
to talk about business and helping businesses. And I know we got to talk a little bit before we went on today, but for our viewers who are watching, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and maybe why you consider yourself an educator.
Well, first of all, I'm a husband and a father. I got a beautiful boys, Max and Alex. They're 9 and 7 years old. And my background's in litigation. I sued people, and I was a deputy district attorney for a number of years. But really, over the last 10, 15 years, I've been teaching business owners better business practices, tax education. I sit on the board of directors for over 200 companies.
Yeah.
I teach tax professionals business and tax law.
Nice.
And so author, speaker, I'm pretty much speaking all over the country now, better business practices.
Yeah, I love it. You're doing some incredible things. I want to talk about better business practices because, most entrepreneurs, small business owners, they get into business because they love their product, they love their service, but they don't always understand a lot of the moving pieces that come with running a business. Why is it so important for someone like you to really help them along the way to really protect themselves and also protect their customers?
Well, the things that I see when I go out on the road and I'm talking to people is the same experience that I actually had. I got audited. My business kind of got blown up by an IRS audit.
Yeah.
And what you learn is that there's a lot more to business than just making money. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. And I think sometimes we believe as business owners that our tax professionals are the ones that give us the advice, when in fact they really don't.
Right.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to help business owners understand the responsibilities that come with that. You need to know certain things, and if you understand those, then it makes things really easy.
So what are some of the things that maybe they're red flags for you, or some of the things that you look at when you first start talking to a business that makes you go, you know what, maybe we need to look into this further. We need to investigate this a little more.
I think when you talk to anybody, their journey is always different. Their life experiences are different. And so what you're trying to do is make an assessment initially about, well, where are they? Do they have a good schedule? Do they have good habits?
Yeah.
Do they have budgets? Do they understand basic taxes? Everybody in business is at a level. So you have sole proprietor, corporation, LLC, and each one of those levels has to have some information. They have to know certain things, and that's kind of what we're trying to fill the gaps in with.
Yeah, I love it. And what's very interesting about this is some of this, it seems like it should be like fundamentals.
Right.
And they're not always, like setting a budget, having goals for your business, things like that. But we sometimes take them for granted because we have our heads down, we're shoveling the mud out of the way just to get through the day. So, but how important are some of these things, and what can happen to some businesses when they don't have some of those foundations in place?
Well, it's transformational. So from my experience, I worked hard every day. I mean, I hustled, I came in every day, I put out fires, and time management is a real big problem. So if you don't have a schedule, if you don't come into work and have a certain tasks and things that you need to do, then what happens is your day just becomes consumed with, doing things and not necessarily working in the business and on the business, and you're just doing stuff.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to accomplish in scheduling is we say, okay, well, let's look at time in terms of blocks.
Right.
This is what we do every day. It's almost like, in a lot of ways, we're trying to teach business owners to be like employees of their own company.
Okay.
And then by doing that, I think you get better schedule, better discipline, and you actually end up with more time. Almost every coaching client I talk to tells me that they have more time with their family, for their friends, because they're in schedules of time blocks.
That's really interesting, and I'll delve on this just for a second, because most business owners say that they want more freedom. And as soon as you start saying, well, you need to be more disciplined, they go, well, aren't you restricting my freedom?
Right.
But actually, the opposite happens, right?
Yeah, it's transformational, because when you don't have a schedule, what you do is you just work hard.
Yeah.
My wife has this great expression. It comes with our kids. It's the days are long and the years are short. And before you realize it, a block of time goes by really quick.
Right.
So when you look at business, you can work in your business forever, and then before you realize it, a whole bunch of time has gone by.
Right.
Well, that's lost productivity. So when you put things into blocks, what happens is you sort of transform your day. You get more productivity, you get more money, and then you actually end up with more free time.
Yeah, which is what we want at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Now, let's talk about, so I know you've worked with a lot of different cases, a lot of different businesses. There's got to be one or two stories that kind of just stick out in your head where you've kind of gone in, you've really helped them, and they've come out much more successful than when you didn't. So I'd love it if you could share a story or two with us here.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we have as business owners is we believe our tax professional is really the person who makes all our decisions. They're our business advisor, if they have a recommendation, when we go to meet them, they would tell us. I mean, we're giving them all the information.
Yeah.
I think almost every experience that I have with business owners is that they're waiting. They're waiting for somebody. And they always say to me at workshops or in conventions, or what we do is they'll say, I don't know what questions to ask. And I think what we're looking to fill in the gap here with is, what are the questions that you need to know? So if I'm waiting for my tax professional to tell me, and I teach tax professionals, they don't see that as their job.
Yeah.
And you don't know what questions to ask, then the problem becomes, well, what do I do?
Right.
So it becomes a paralysis. So what we do is we have taken every single business owner, depending upon where they are, and basically give them the blueprint for what they need to know.
That's really important, and it's kind of just the difference between being proactive versus reactive, because if you're reactive, you're already behind.
Right.
You're already losing. You're already, oh no, something already happened, and that's not where we want to be as business owners, as entrepreneurs. We want to be on the offense. We want to be growing the business.
Exactly.
Here's kind of a fun one that we ask all our guests here on the show, is that if you could kind of go back in time, 20 years ago when you're first starting the practice, what's one piece of advice that you would give to yourself, for growing your business or helping your clients out?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I learned was when I got audited.
Yeah.
I mean, I really learned in that audit that what I thought and what is the reality are two different things. I thought by giving them information, I would get information back.
Right.
And the reality is I need to know more about taxes.
Yeah.
My CPA is not responsible for my taxes. I'm responsible for it. So I needed to learn practices. And we have a great expression in the office. We say, the more you know, the less you owe. So if you understand these principles and you learn them and you incorporate them into your business, no matter what station you're at, you're going to be more successful.
Yeah. Now, Scott, if there's a business owner watching right now and they're like, man, I could really use some help. I want to be more proactive. I want to have more discipline to have that time, to have that business that I want. Where can they learn more about, working with you, kind of taking that next step?
Well, I think the best thing to do would be to visit our website or on our phone number. I know you have that listed on the screen. We'd be happy to talk with you, get a consultation started, and see if it's a good fit for us to work together.
I love that. Yeah, and as you guys are watching at home, make sure you go to that website. Scott has a wealth of information there. Call the office, and if you mention Times Square today, I'm sure he'll make some time to talk to you to help you and your business out. Scott, thanks so much for hanging out with us on today's episode of Times Square Today.
Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you. And we'll be back in just a minute with more from Times Square Today.